this has been a burning question on JB and I's mind recently. Do we only win when you wear black cleats? And can we get a promise to only wear black cleats this year?
Well, you'll be happy to know that Grant Amen. I asked him if he could send me, a pair of his New Balance black Freeze V5s or whatever, and they came on Wednesday of last week before training camp. So had those out there, and then Packy hooked me up with some of the new Nike Hirachi ones that are also black. So I'll be wearing black cleats. That's the
Excellent,
plan.
excellent.
Did
Glad to
you
hear it.
choose the black versus the white based on the jersey? Was it an aesthetics thing? Was it the turf and the feel, or was it just random? You grabbed the pair.
No, I originally I'd never worn black cleats previously. I think in 2024, or maybe it was the end of 2023, like all the white cleats were out. And so PK, midway through my rookie year, I guess it was, just was like, here's all we got. And I really liked those New Balance ones. And I was like, whatever, it's late in the season. Like I don't care what I'm wearing. And then it kind of, Matty Moore was certainly not a fan of them, and like, would try to hide them from me, whatever. Grant wasn't either, but they kind of started to stick. Mason Woodward liked to wear them. Bo started wearing some dark gray ones. So we got a couple of the fellas on the black cleat wave.
We like it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So training camp, a little different this year. You were in Albany for your first 3 seasons. That was more of the college experience where you stayed in the dorms with all the buddies. Philly for a shorter amount of time last weekend, and now you're going to have something short maybe in Utah before you start. Can you touch on the differences and what you think, how it might impact the team starting the season?
Yeah, it's a good question, and we were talking about it this past weekend in Philly. I'll say that the facilities at the Philadelphia Union that they have are pretty sweet. We ended up actually doing all our practices indoors. The weather wasn't great; it was raining a couple days, so we were at this pretty sweet indoor facility there. The locker rooms were awesome. Like, we've been there, fortunately been there before when we were in the championship the first 2 years. But it was definitely, it was quick. You're in there Thursday night, out Saturday afternoon. Like, you're playing the whole time. You're meeting new guys. We had called 11 or 12. Half the guys there were kind of new faces for us, but a good group, like a great group of guys. Albany, you're up there it's 30 dudes, so you got more folks. You're there for a week. You're in the dorms. Most guys aren't really working too much. Like, it's totally like summer camp. This one, it was kind of more of your go away weekend. And again, we got a lot of work in, and definitely got better. I think from Friday to Sunday. Friday was like, holy smokes, I haven't played in a while, and then Sunday was like, all right, we're starting to settle in a little bit here. And then so that was great in Philly. And then when we go out to Utah, we're flying out Tuesday night, most of us, and then we have 2 practices Wednesday, practice Thursday, and then we're playing a game Friday. It's going to be a quick turnaround. Wednesday, we'll probably get after it a little bit on those 2 practices. We'll have more of our guys there, pending what happens with the college playoffs and the NLL and all that stuff. So there'll still be some of those new guys that we met in Philly as well. And I think we have some more kind of administrative stuff, like we're talking to Paul and Mike in their annual town hall and going over some rules stuff and, yada, yada, yada. So it's going to be a packed week. I think it's going to go by quick. And then, doubleheader. We got it. That's what we care most about. So it's going to come fast, but we're excited.
Yeah, awesome. Speaking of new guys, we got a pretty big new guy coming. Hopefully, not for him, but hopefully for us, coming to Utah, in Aiden McGuire. Talk to us about kind of the evolution of the short stick D mid room over your career. I know you started you and Mar obviously were drafted in the same class and playing with Treasy, and even Challen was taking some runs there as well. So just talk us through kind of how that, Treasy won, the Hard Hat Award that year, learning from that guy to now being not the old guy, but the vet kind of in that room. So.
Yeah, that's another good question. Treasy still is a stud, and became one of Mara and I's great friends, and we tried to learn a lot from his game. Especially, he had been playing, he's been playing NLL Pro for like 10 years now, which is crazy, even though he's only 27 or whatever. So when we were playing with Treasy, like he obviously won the award that year. Like we felt like we had a pretty good little room there, D mid room. And I remember Matt McMahon saying, "Hey, you guys could play for a couple years together. Like if staying healthy, all that." Like we were like, "All right, sweet." And then of course he blew out his knee at the end of the year, which was a big bummer. And then we knew it was going to be a while before he came back. And so we drafted Bo. So we go re-up and draft Bo the next year, and we're like, oh my God, I guess now we got another really good guy in here. And then it ended up really working out because Treasy ultimately, wasn't able to come back for the PLL. So it's like, okay, well you take out Treasy, but then you slot in a stud like Bo, like that's pretty nice. And now we're going back to the well again, kind of given just where we are as an organization and where our strengths are as a team. We're leaning into now the D mid again. And McGuire, Aiden, I met him once this past fall, so I don't really know him as a guy yet. But I mean, he's watching him play. Like he's obviously mega athletic and does a lot of things defensively. Can score. Like he's as advertised. And I think his game will lend itself really well in the PLL. So I think I'm excited to learn from him, frankly, and some of the stuff that he does and to be on running a line with him and Mar and Bo, like, again, we got to stay healthy. We got to do the things, but we feel, I think, pretty good about that room and wanting to get better and help each other and run transition and kind of do all those things. So again, long way to go, but we're really excited for him for Aiden to join us.
Yeah. Did y'all kind of lean into some of that? Hey, we got to stay on and shoot and, set picks and all that stuff in some of the scrimmages this weekend?
Big time. We spent I was talking to Zach Carey about this too. Like we spent a good amount of probably more time than we did almost all of last year doing transition stuff. Just because Coach Bates has talked about it. Like we're gonna have to if this is the philosophy that we're gonna go. Like we're gonna lean into the transition a bunch. So we're starting to kind of put in some different calls, different sets. Like and he's just trying to instill confidence in us that you guys can do this. Like that's why we're doing it, because we believe in you guys, and that feels good coming from coach and the offensive guys, and we're listening to them. So I mean, we'll see. Again, every game will be a little bit different, but I think we're going to try. It's no secret that we're going to try to give that a shot.
Yeah.
So you're conditioning, man. You're going to be on the field a lot more running.
Well, I tell you, we noticed with the fourth guy, we had Sharky with us who was at camp last year with us as well, and he played great. Running the 4D mid, you get more of a break. It's like, you're running offense, but instead of that third guy each run off, you go two, and then one guy has to double up on the next one. So to have a full rest, it's like it's a game changer. Like we actually felt pretty good. But yeah, I mean, nonetheless, yes, you got to come back in shape, or else you're going to be in a bad way.
Do you wear a whoop or anything? Like, do you have like stats from a game, like how many miles or steps or anything?
I started wearing this Apple Watch, although I don't wear that in practice. I'm just afraid it'd get broken. But I actually asked Bo this past weekend, and some other guys do it. And we had two practices on Saturday. The second one was kind of a mini scrimmage against the Water Dogs. And he said his total calorie burn that day was 5,600. And I'm like, whoa, dude, like that's a lot. So, I mean, it's probably something similar for the D mids. I mean, but that's I think after games, like his strain gets pretty high on that whoop, and we burn some cows for sure.
Yeah.
I just yesterday looked at the Swig website because we stopped there last year, Utah Tradition now, and the calories, if you need to replenish, just get an extra large drink of Swig and you'll be fine, because it's like 6,000 or something crazy.
Come on, no way.
It's not that many, but it's a lot. There's like 170 grams of sugar. 170 grams of sugar in one of those drinks, which don't drink that. Get diet.
I mean, we love Utah. We love Swig, but that's maybe not before a game.
I'm going all in on the cream pops. Those ice pops are delicious.
We'll have to give that a go.
But yeah, expectations for this year. Obviously, your first 2 years in the league. I'll say it till the day I die. I'm good friends with Mikey Sis. Met you your rookie year. The draft class with you, Connor, and Cam Wires. You were 2 for 2 on championships. It put the team over the hump. And then last year, disappointing year. Tons of injuries. Jackson and I have touched on it every time we talk.
Yeah.
The team was never really whole at all the whole season. And it's tough to deal with something like that. On top of just a couple bad breaks. You got like Holman scoring with 1 second left to potentially take you out of the playoffs earlier in the season. How do you rebound from that? And what's the let's just wipe the slate clean and it's kind of like a new era of Archers lacrosse this year. How do you enter 2026 with a positive mindset?
Yeah, I agreed that last year, we can make all the excuses in the world, whatever. It was disappointing, and we are, a couple of those breaks at the end of a few of those games away from making the playoffs, maybe even making the champ series. But it didn't shake, and we ended up last. So I think we're coming back. Like, we're hungry. We got something to prove a little bit, I think. And again, especially with this kind of new way that we're going to be approaching playing. Um, I think it's one at a time. Like last year, when we faltered a little bit, I think we just thought it was going to fix itself. That's kind of what happened in 2024. 2023, we were hot, man. We went 8-2 and just like kind of the championship game was. I mean, we played some competitive games that year. The championship was obviously 1 goal game, Dauber, whatever. But 2024 we kind of hit a hiccup mid of the year, and then it just kind of figured it out, and we went on a run and won a bunch in a row and won the thing. Last year, it didn't solve itself, and we tried to do some things to fix it, but I think there was a little bit of this sense that, like, hey, it's just going to happen, and it didn't. So I think this year, we were humbled, right? Like we went from first to worst, which is never a good thing. And so I think we're just approaching it one at a time. It's a longer season. There's going to be some new faces. There's some of the older guys are Tom's hurt at the beginning of the year. Obviously, we want him around as much as possible. Matty Moore's, going to be out for a while. Not sure if he's playing, but we just got to approach it one at a time. And our expectations are high. Like, the championship's the goal, like playoffs, all that stuff. None of that changes, but we gotta kind of chop the wood and grind a little bit to earn some of these wins. And the league is as competitive as it's been, so nothing's gonna come easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you ever set like personal goals, especially? I mean, like, do you just kind of have a number in the back of your head, like, hey, I'm going to score 6 goals this year, or especially with the new format, or?
Yeah, I mean, there's always, there's there's personal goals always. You want to score a couple here and there, and aspirations to be the best that we can. But that's kind of always the case, like at any level. But obviously, we're doing this not because of like we want to score a certain amount or get whatever team. Like we want to win, and it's so much more. When you win, you get all the other stuff anyway. So it's like that's really what matters, and it's a great group. Like, we love spending time with each other. So just to have that the ability to go do that and be together, like that's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's your roommate on the road? Do you get to pick that, or?
So Marzi and I have been roommates for all 4. An occasional, maybe I'll be, I was with Bo once last year. I was with Jared Connors a couple times the couple years prior, just with, traveled timing differences. But pretty much the last 4 years, it's been Mar and I. So we've got a good little thing going.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know you mentioned that you only met McGuire one time. I'm guessing that was at the Team USA camp. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and kind of that experience?
Yeah, happy to. I mean, that was a ton of fun. That was probably the most sore I've been in a long, long time coming out of that camp. We had to do a run test at the beginning, the beep test. So that was the first thing we did on Friday, and then got after it pretty hard. Not too dissimilar from what we did in Utah, or excuse me, last weekend in Philly, but more. It was super high level. Like, everybody there is extremely talented, and we're none of us really. I mean, we had guys that had played with each other. There are actually a good amount of Archer D guys there, but like, nobody's really played much with each other, and there's a lot of just high level stuff going on, offensively, defensively, goalie play, Fogo. Like, so to just be with the group and compete. And again, trying to learn from what some of these other D mids and just offensive mid, like to try to just like absorb as much as we can, and from the coaches, Coach Warren, Coach T, Coach Toomey, like just being there and just trying to soak as much in as possible, and hopefully getting more opportunities to do that.
Yeah, and that was a sixes camp. Is that right?
So
Or
the
was
one
that?
that I was at was for field, so it wasn't
Okay.
sixes. There was a sixes camp I wasn't at. We had a couple archers guys at that one. I had been at a sixes one the year prior in Indianapolis. That was also really cool. Again, anytime that you get to put on the red, white, and blue is an honor. So again, if there's more opportunities to come, that's something that fully will embrace.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I don't know if this is. I mean, what are Penn's colors? You don't say red, white, and blue for Penn, do you?
No, it's the red and blue. The
Okay.
white's kind of there, but it's the red and blue. Yeah, the Quakers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, talk to us about our coaching fellow this year at camp. I know he's a Penn guy as well. Did you get to play for him when you were there at all, or?
Yeah. Coach Forrester, so Rob Forrester, he was there my freshman year. He was kind of our video ops guy, so kind of just starting his coaching career. I mean, it was 7-8 years ago now, which is kind of crazy. Uh, and he quickly, I didn't really realize this until a couple years later, but he was one of the guys behind the scenes, especially offensively. He played attack at Penn State, I think attack, and he was one of the guys behind the scenes that was like the seniors, offensive players on that team, and we had a good team that year, would go to Coach Forrester and be like, "Hey, Coach, what do you think about this play here, my individual dodge here?" Like they would go to and seek his counsel, which was pretty damn cool, and you can see that already happening now. Like Ryan Ambler got on and watched film with Coach Forrester last night or 2 nights
That's
ago.
awesome.
Like that's the impact that I think he's already having, and he's a guy who understands the game really well, is respected, is somebody that is just a calming presence, and we like to, I think in the couple days that guys met him are like, yeah, I like this guy, bringing new drills on the offensive side of the field, just like I think going to be a value add. He's not going to be around all the time, but when he's there, we're excited to have him.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really cool. For someone new to the Archers and new to coming out to Utah, ground punchers. Ground punchers, the banner hangs. It seems to have become big, I guess, 2 years ago. Tell us what the ground punchers are, who started it, where it came from, and what it means to be part of it.
Yeah, yeah, the ground punchers, man. So that was Champ Series 2025. So last year Champ Series. That was I'll shout out Ryan Ogevin. That was a Ryan Ogevin and Bo kind of came up with that, and the origin of it was in sixes at that tournament where like the D mids are facing off, and so we make fun of face off guys sometimes as the ground punchers, but we would be the first five guys that would roll out would be Mason, myself, Mar, Bo, and Augie, and so we just kind of as a joke we're like, oh man, it's the ground punchers, here we go, here we go, we're going to punch the ground on this first one. And then I think it just kind of it became a joke, but then it started to stick. And Mason's brother Jackson Woodward, created the sign, and now whenever he comes to games, he brings it out, and it's become kind of a little thing. So anyway, we embrace it, and it's just it's funny that it's turned into something. So
Yeah. I had
It's
to
awesome.
explain what it was to your mom last year in Utah. She was like, "Why is Piper's number up there?"
that's a good thing. That's why you're there, man. You're helping her understand everything going on.
I want to ask what you think the impact of Nike and also the release today of a lacrosse helmet with the cage that lifts. Are you going to wear that? And how excited are you for the swoosh?
Yeah, the Nike stuff is all like we've already gotten it. Like it's some of the stuff, it's awesome. I think it's huge for the league. Champion was great. Like honestly, I liked a lot of the Champion gear, but like Nike's Nike. Like the major sports in this country wear Nike, and that's how it is. And so the gear is great. Like it's certainly is good PR for the league. I know the new Cascade helmet, the Z, I think is what I don't know. I think they're calling it the Z.
Yeah.
We had heard rumors about it at camp. Mac had done like I think a shoot. TJ Malone, they posted that thing with him today, and TD Erlin posted something hilarious. It was the Maverick, that ad with TJ, and then he had Iron Man, doing with the clip of like Iron Man's mask coming on. So anyway, that's I guess we're gonna wear those things. I mean, it's kind of it's totally wild, and I love the helmets we have now. But I guess that's the next generation.
Yeah. How excited were you? This is just a me and JB kind of thing, but how excited were you to show up with arrowheads on the side of the or on the side of the helmet instead of Utah?
That was great. Yeah, we thought those were awesome, and even the jerseys like across the league, but ours too. Like, I love that it's consistent now from last year. Like the orange is great. We have orange shirts, orange shorts now. Like the color rush thing at the end of the year. I mean, it's a lot of orange, but we like it. And the arrow, like it's becoming something that we really appreciate and like that it's on all this stuff.
Yeah, I think it's the best logo in the league, and it's a shame that we haven't had it on a helmet. I don't since y'all became the Utah Archers. So
That's right.
Definitely excited to see that back.
We always like to do something at the end of each segment where Jackson and I are trading card nerds, and you know that because I saw you at Mikey's wedding, and I gave you some of your own cards. We pull something out because we have some friends that also really like to collect, and it's a good chance to show off your collection and try to relate it to the person that's on with us. So I get to go first, and we always surprise each other. We don't tell each other what we're going to show first. So I have what's called a mini rainbow because I don't have the green 2 or the gold 1, but it's the 2024 set of yourself.
Oh, cool.
The red,
Oh,
the black, the yellow, the blue. If I had it in person, what I was going to pull up, and I don't know how my phone's going to show on a screen here, but last year in Utah, my good friend came along with me, and she had, I think I might have showed you this, she had you sign a card. And after you signed the card, your entire family signed the card. Your mom, your dad, your sister. So she's got that one on her nightstand as a keepsake. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's cool. I do remember you showing me that last year. It's funny, my 8-year-old little sister Lucia, she probably totally was into that.
It's on there.
The best signature of the bunch.
Yeah, that's right.
And so mine's, just one card, but they did a release for, sorry, the glare's weird, but
yeah.
Celebrating the championship in 2024, and there's you and Dyson jumping on Brett and whoever else is right there, but this is actually numbered to 50, so they only made 50 copies like this with the gold border. So just a really cool kind of memory of what an awesome accomplishment it was to go back to back there.
Yeah,
you got some sick hang time in that photo. You got out.
Yeah, I was trying to hold myself up on those guys. I think JB, you might have given me that card at Mike's wedding last fall. I got that one stored away somewhere. That's a cool one. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Piper, thank you so much for being our first player guest. We're super excited to come watch y'all play next week, and y'all are such an easy group to root for. So we really appreciate what y'all are doing for the sport and how great y'all are to the fans. So thank you so much again, and I'll let JB take us out here.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. We're excited. Utah Archer fans, don't forget, let it fly.
Awesome.
Love it.